Okay, welcome to my business model summary. My name is Andrew Prey, and I did my business idea was for an athletic training center that also focused on tutoring teenagers. So my focus group and my target age is middle school to high school students. And I'm going to talk briefly about kind of where I started, where I finished, and some of the main points of my business model canvas and how I arrived to those conclusions. So, my minimal viable product, I kind of toyed with the idea of having this be just where I start out by individually training, bringing a kid to the park, things like that. But this wasn't a small venture. Class is a big venture, and so my minimal viable product involved a warehouse. That was the cheapest idea, and I see a lot of athletic training centers and warehouse that I could rent for about $1,200 a month, and that would have an office where I could do my marketing and finance, and then also a area for tutoring. So essentially a classroom with whiteboards and books, different materials to be able to instruct children. And the main area would be the athletic training center. So I mean, if we were in an ideal world, the facility were facing north on the east side, there'd be the weights areas, Olympic style weightlifting areas, as well as a few different machines, but mostly free weights. And then the middle would be the biggest area where we would conduct a lot of our agility and training and speed agility and jumping exercises to in order to increase verticals, things like that. That's my minimal viable product. That's that entails all the things I want to achieve with this business. Um, the marketing, the market sizing, what I did is I took I'm from Dallas Fort Worth, so I took DFW as a whole, and I essentially found out how many people live in DFW. And then I found the average number of families that live in DFW are 1,392 families, and there's on average 2 children per household. Um, 40% of those people participate in sports. And so the market size was around 1,100,000 people. Now, for a service like this, it'd be relatively expensive. When I did my price comparisons, um, depending on where you go to get training like this, it could cost you anywhere between $12 an hour, $20 an hour to $1,000 a month. My training would be more personable or more personal. So my target market would be households that earn over $100,000 a year, um, and that brought it down quite a bit. So my target market would be 267,000 people, approximately. Um, and where I narrowed it down even further, there's these two cities where called Colleyville and Southlake here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, where on average the families gross income, so combined with mom and dad, is averages over $100,000 a year. And so that's where I would set up the market. That's where I think I would have the most success. um, the value that I wanted to create with this is the ability not only to help kids accomplish their sports dreams. Um, and so the value for the kids would be to receive one-on-one training, to be able to excel in their sports programs, but also to feel accomplished in their schoolwork. And then the pain that I want to take away from the parents is the preoccupation with sports in school that a lot of parents face. Not every parent has the goal to have their children succeed in school and sports, but it takes a lot of pain away from these parents if they can get both of those knocked out in one place. Um, my customer segments, um, essentially people that we'd be targeting, the people that pay for these services would be the parents. So that would be my main focus, is providing the value of what type of person, or providing the value for these parents of what I can do for their children. Um, Probably adults from the age 30 to 55 who are busy working. They have younger kids, and they have busy lives. Um, the next kind of target market would be to the teenagers themselves, um, helping them find a place that's accessible for them, that's fun for them to be in a place where they can feel valued and have a mentor. I really think that would be an important value to build when creating a facility like this. The main distribution channels, now this is an interesting thing, and this ties into my most relevant pass-fail test as well, is I started to do some of my interviews on the idea of doing a online training, subscription type of training, where it would be catered to teenagers, but where people that maybe they couldn't afford the one-on-one training, they could go online on YouTube and follow my channel and get some training tips. But my main distribution channel would be at the warehouse, where they would get that custom, personalized one-on-one training depending on the specific goals of each person, each athlete, each student, and also for academic purposes, what subjects they need help with. Um, and that was my most relevant pass-fail test, was understanding the different channels. In my mind, it was first just the warehouse, and then people brought to my attention the idea of the video tutoring, like a YouTube subscription channel, as well as in-home training, which is a big deal and would make it even more accessible for people. My key partners in this, essentially, I would need to be able to partner with the community. Um, Another big deal would be a lot of high school coaches, getting referrals from them uh, within the school systems, saying, "Hey, I know this guy. He knows how to train." I mean, getting referrals there would be huge. Um, Also, an equipment company partnership, where that would really help me cut costs, where I could make a deal where I could kind of do some free marketing for them, stick some of their equipment symbols on the outside of my building, on the equipment itself, and that would help cut some of the costs for me. Those would be my main partnerships, and the main activities that I would be doing. Essentially, I mean, it's cut and dry as it sounds, but the athletic training, the personal tutoring, motivational training to help with the mentoring, and also developing the YouTube channel for that additional channel of distribution. Um, the main resources that I would need to facilitate this business idea would be the facility, the warehouse itself, the training equipment, college students. Now, that is my idea for the tutoring, is to be close to a college campus. When the Cliveville and Southlake area has a couple of college campuses around, and I would have college students come and do the tutoring. That would help lower my costs, as well as the location for the tutoring. Um, Make sure it's a viable place to learn. My main costs that I would encounter, essentially the rent of the facility and other fixed costs associated. Um, the biggest cost would be my variable faculty cost. I'd have to pay trainers, and I don't want just anyone from the street. I would want good quality people that have certifications. That would be a big cost for me. The partnership costs of additional marketing, I mean, on-site marketing, things like that, would be would be ex- could be expensive, but also could also be beneficial in helping me cut costs, as well. And the main revenue, essentially, kind of like a gym membership, would be people would pay a monthly subscription or monthly fee to use my facility. Um, And then another way I could earn revenues is subscriptions for my YouTube channel. I mean, if I get enough hits, then YouTube pays you. It's not a substantial amount of money, but a lot of people make a living that way as well. Um, but my main focus would be getting people into the facility to pay for the monthly, yearly subscriptions of training and tutoring is what my main focus would be on that. I discussed, again, my most relevant pass-fail was the different channels that I could distribute these training methods. When I was doing research on the type of customers, um, what really stuck out to me was the looking for parents, and these would be who my early evangelists would be, is parents that are looking for their children to succeed. I actually have a couple of people in my life that have reached out to me to train their kids in basketball, and that's what I grew up doing. I played basketball in high school, but um, what I asked them and why they would want it is they want their kids to succeed, and also a confidence and a confidence factor played into it. They want their kids to be confident in the things they're doing, but the main thing is they wanted them to be able to grow and to learn how to work at something. The process of athletic training is something that can teach you a lot about life and work ethic. That it you can't just try it one time and you're going to be perfect, but it's the little things that make you good and make you elite. And that's what a big focus that these parents had on is they are looking for a mentor and someone that can help them learn those skills. So my initial canvas was pretty simple. Um, I had a couple. Now, some things didn't change, and I did delete some things. But what I learned more about key partnerships that I would need to add. My channels changed quite a bit on what a channel really meant. I don't think I really understood that at the beginning. My customer relationships changed. Who exactly my customer segments were and who I would want to focus on. It was really general at the beginning. I just kind of put young men, young women ages 12 to 18, and then um, towards the end, I put more. Okay, there might be seasonal youth, seasonal adults that want to participate, um, people that are specifically interested in increasing athletic ability, and things like that. And then also my costs. I added a few more costs that I didn't really think that I would run into at the beginning. So it got more specific, not necessarily more complex, but it got more specific on how I would carry out my key activities, why my key partners were important, um, what my channels were, and how that would affect my revenue. Um, so it very interesting and very fulfilling project. Um, Personally, if I had to choose, would I try to open this business today? I mean, if I got funded $2 million, I most certainly would be able to do that. But if I were to start today, I would try to start small and then grow into something big. But that's not really the point of this course. So hope you guys enjoyed my presentation and my summary of how this semester has gone for me so far. And if you have any questions, please comment. Thanks.